We are GSN, and this week, we're reporting live from New York City, covering the 2024 Summit of the Future. This global event brings together leaders, innovators, and activists to discuss the most pressing challenges facing humanity.
From climate change to social inequality.
Hello again, this is Martin Caponi for Global Society News. Now we are on the 70th floor of the One World Trade Center, joining the CSO Awards. On my left hand now is India, a delegate of the Global Society Delegation. And India, as we heard, the Global Society Delegation was very, very active and involved in the Summit of the Future UN headquarter summit. You talked also to the full assembly. You get in contact with many, many interesting young people and their projects. And I think a lot of the agenda has been part of the closing trips, closing messages.
Mm-hmm.
What can you generally tell us about the mission of the Global Society Association?
Well, it was interesting. During the first few hours of the action days of the Summit of the Future, Antonio Guterres addressed the audience alongside a number of young people because the United Nations wants to elevate young people's voices. And he said, after the end of the Cold War, we had a moment where we really could have come together and changed the trajectory of human existence to a far more positive future. But unfortunately, the older generations there let youth down. It wasn't the end of history at all. And since then, there's been more conflict than ever. And climate change is now an existential threat. That was a profound takeaway, as well as the fact that, and of which in the West, it wasn't very apparent to me in our aging societies, that 50% of the world population are under 30. So it is our duty as elders to step up for young people that legacy institutions like the UN and our national governments have failed to protect. So the Global Society Delegation has come together to present an agenda that goes beyond partisan governments and artificial boundaries that we've put between us. And we've assembled an amazing group of people who are working across the UN SDGs to put forward their visions for a hopeful, clean, green, equitable future. So it was inspiring to be with so many young people who are working to make the world a better place.
Okay, thank you for that. Please tell me what global society means to you as a person.
I am fortunate in that I've had a very international background. My parents are both immigrants, British, Irish, and Indian African. And so I grew up in a very global context and lived on multiple continents. There's more that unites us across the world than divides us, but we're fed narratives that try to separate us into tribal groups and play us off against each other. But being a global citizen in a global society means that we have to look towards what really benefits us as a collective humanity on a planet that we call home. And ultimately, beyond political divides, we all want the same thing. We want a healthy planet for ourselves and our families and the fellow creatures that live with us. We want healthy ecosystems. Most people, the vast majority of people, want an equitable society where everyone can thrive. But we need to come together and take action on that front. That's what being a global citizen in a global society means to me.
So in fact, you are a global citizen at all. It seems like that.
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. So what will be the plans of the delegation for the next week? Are there any more events we can join you?
Oh, yes. We're attending events across New York Climate Week and across the UN agenda. So I'm particularly interested in nature-based events. We need to rally the public sector, the private sector, philanthropy to put real resources behind protecting our ecosystems on which the planet depends. So you can catch me at a lot of those. I'll be representing the Global Society Delegation there. We've got a packed agenda, that's for sure.
So, thank you so much, India, for your time.
Thank you
It's an
for the
honor.
interview.
Martin Caponi for Global Society News.